How's it going, everybody? I'm excited to bring you guys my first haircut tutorial slash just watch me work video. This is the first video I'll be posting on my new YouTube channel. This is a new customer. I've never cut his hair before, and I really would like to show the world what I do. So I grabbed my camera with his permission first, and I began to work. And we get in that area behind the ear, getting them nice and clean, nice and crispy. I feel like this might be one of the best haircuts on YouTube, by the way. I really do. I'm just cleaning them up with that razor, getting them nice and sharp with that C cup. Just get my man's nice and clean. I really like the concept of it, what it does for the waves and the curls. So he had a different brand, but I went with the Can2. $6-7. What you just saw me right there doing was brushing it down. You guys like, subscribe, post, share, do whatever. Follow me on Instagram at mr.miniweather. It's our anniversary. Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's been 2 long years. As you can see, that was my first video I ever did with my guy Rob right here, and I'm super excited, man, because of the growth. As you heard in that video, I was like, man, this has to be the best haircut on YouTube. I love it, you know, all that kind of stuff. 2 years later, so much has changed. I've changed. He's changed. My boy Rob, at the time, he had just got out of college looking for a job. Now he's a teacher. 2 years in, he just had his first kid, and so much has gone on. I'm not in the barbershop no more. I'm in a suite, and man, life has happened. And so I'm excited to be here presenting this video with all of its upgrades and advances that I've, you know, just the different things that I've learned in 2 years. So welcome back to the channel. I'm Christopher Miniweather with Dead Stock Barbershop, and I make videos to help you take your career the furthest in the shortest amount of time. If that's something that you're interested in, please subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, and let's grow together. First, we combed it out, making sure that we can see the direction that the hair grows, and then we proceeded to cut the top down, or the crown down, with the number 2, and the rest we're doing with my master's number 1 guard halfway open. Starting in the back, we're going to set our guideline using your trimmers, whatever you want to do. You know, if it's going to be a bald taper, typically I always do my tapers in the back bald. You can use a shaver if they can take it. Make sure that you consult with your customer first, and you proceed to bald that area out. So right here, the fading system with my wall 1919s is as follows: open, close, halfway open, quarter close. And I'll just follow those steps and keeping everything consistent. So as you can see, I only move that line up about 1/4 inch of the way each time, but I'm making sure that it is raising up. That way you're guaranteed that you're fading it in, you're blending it in. Then I like to switch over to my masters just because they do have a wider range to fade with, and I just like the blend when I use these combination of clippers. So the fading system is open, halfway, quarter, close. To answer your question, yes, the masters open, no guard, is longer than the Babyless, the walls, your ergos, your JRLs, everything, all other clippers pretty much, other than Oster fast feeds, as well as maybe the wall legends come close, but the range, it's going to be longer with the masters than any other clipper that's out there on the market. So now I have the biggest guard that I'm going to be using. This is my number 2, and what I'm doing now is just debulking that area, because at this point I'm going to begin to fade down. So I went up as high as I'll go, and now I'll work my way back down after this, going down to my number 1 guard next. With the number 2, I actually went up about a full inch. So now that I have my number 1, it is closed, and I'm going up about a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch. Yeah, about a 1/2 inch up. So just making sure that I'm giving myself the space so that I can give it that nice smooth blend and transition that we're looking to see with this type of haircut. And one thing that you'll always notice is as I cut, I keep brushing the hair down. Right now the guard is open and I need to be able to see what's true and what's not. What's really hair, what's really a line, what's really a shadow, what's really a dark spot, and what is not. If you're not brushing that stuff away, you're going to make the haircut last much longer and you're going to work a lot harder than what you need to do. So same thing, I just kind of split it up on the left and the right side, but I'm just going to do the same exact steps. So it's closed right now, and I'll open it up and I'm just fading it together, tying that blend together. So what I'm doing with the one guard, I'm just opening and closing it. And as you'll see right here, I kind of changed my angle right there, and I'm cutting at an angle because his hair is growing in that direction. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm always cutting against the grain because that's how I'll remove the most hair. We're fading down, so the next step to blend in between the master's no guard all the way open and my one closed will be my number 0 guard. And this step is pretty much detail work, so I'm just using a lot of corners, making sure that I'm looking for any dark spots or anything like that, and just working those corners. Using the corner of the blade, as many of you guys know, I'm able to point out specific spots and take out those spots, you know, instead of just using the full blade. So one of the best ways to get through a haircut is by going through your system and then working the detail afterwards. So I've gone through my steps, now I'm detailing and I'm tying this fade together, dark spots, lines, I'm looking for all of that and I'm taking it out. This area right here is one of the most neglected areas in a taper. You want to make sure that you debulk the area behind the ear, because what it's going to do is it's going to make the hair back there lay down, as well as it's going to make a better transition from your taper on your sides into that darker area. Fade it out too much, it's going to start to look more like a drop fade. That area behind the ear is the only thing that separates a drop fade from a taper fade. So what we're gonna do now, set the guideline in on the taper, same exact steps that we did in the back. It's the same thing. I've seen people who say that they can't do a bald fade, but they're good at tapers, or they're good at bald fades, but they can't do tapers. It's the same thing. Whatever your fading technique is or your system is, you're gonna do the same thing, either all the way around and drop it, or all the way around in the middle, or just in the taper area. It's all the same thing. So don't be defeated or don't be concerned that you can't do something, because once you know how to fade, you know how to fade. And we just stick with the same system. Open, close, halfway, open, quarter close. It does not change unless you want it to change, because that's not what you have to do. But that's just one that I like to teach. That's one that I like to do, and it's simple. It's not hard. Also, the same steps you just did above the ear, we're gonna do those below the ear and fade in this beard. I see a lot of people who they take pride in their fades, and then when it comes to their beard work, it doesn't look like the same person even cut it. So it's just as important fading in that beard as it is the back or the sides or any other work that you're doing. You just wanna have that same level of detail. Back to the masters all the way open. We're gonna do those same steps, fading up, and then we're gonna fade back down. What it does is it ensures that you're catching anything on your way back down that you might have missed on your way up. So you fade up, then you fade back down. And with my one guard, what I like to do is I'll open it all the way up, and then I'll close it, and I'll go right below that and start to take out that line, just debulk that area a little bit. Now I'm going in with the number 2 guard. It is all the way closed, and that should be as high as I go. So what you guys will probably notice is that I did not use the 0 guard on this side of his head like I did in the back. What I'm doing is using the corners of my clippers, and it allows me to skip that guard. So depending on what clippers you're using, it's a lot easier, I feel, with the masters to do this, just because the teeth, the range on the clippers are so much longer. So right now I'm just working the system in reverse, going the opposite direction, heading down, fading into the beard. This is my number 2, and I'll just be fading it in, looking for any dark spots. Same thing. So one thing that's funny, I had a conversation just yesterday with a friend of mine, and we were talking about the difference in customers now versus back in the day. He was saying that, you know, he always got a taper fade and he never really looked at the haircut. You know, it's just check your edge up, you know, when the barber gives you the mirror. But now with all these different platforms and social media and all that kind of stuff, like everybody wants to look good. Everybody wants to feel like a celebrity now all of a sudden. So you got to put in your best work. But of course you still have customers where they really don't care. You know, it's not everybody, but it's just crazy how things have changed. So most people, when they do their edge ups, you know, they're focusing so much on the front edge, you know, it gotta be perfect. Bro, the sides and the back are just as important. This will make your haircut pop and stand out. I make sure that I take that time and I detail that area and clean it up. And it's different for each customer. So some people, they like to leave theirs wide and natural, and some people like to bring it in, and some people just have no preference, and that's when I use my judgment. When it comes to the beard, of course you're gonna ask, how do you want it? He wanted to keep it pretty high, so I'll leave it high. I start the line on the top of the beard, then I go to the top of the C cup, as you can see, and now I connect the 2 lines. That's a very simple method to make sure that you have a nice curvature on the C cup. All right, so we come to the last side that we gotta do to complete the haircut. This side is gonna be the same exact steps as the back, same exact steps as the side. I can't put it any other way. You're just doing the same thing. It's called consistency. If you want a great haircut, you have to be consistent, and this is how you get it done. If you guys are enjoying this video and receiving value, make sure that you like it, and also subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you guys are enjoying these videos, if you're liking the tutorials, if you like this haircut, if you think it's clean, if you think it's trash, let me know. Or if you just have any questions, make sure you leave it in the comment section, because I do respond to every single comment. And for any of you that are wondering, this haircut is something I schedule for 45 minutes, and I charge $40 currently for a basic haircut and beard. All right, so doing the back of the ear, just like the other side, you definitely want to make sure that the angle that you put that back right line at is the same as you did on the back left side. And just like I took the number 2 behind the ear, I'm doing the same thing on the front edge so I can get that hair to lay down, just kind of knock some of that bulk out. All right, so right here, what I'm checking is the beard lines are equal, as well as the top of the C cup is equal as well. You want to make sure that as you look at them from the front, that it's symmetrical. So now we've come to what can be the hardest part for some people. What I like to do is just start in the middle, work my way left or work my way right. It's up to you. I'm just going left, and I'm trying to get it as straight as I possibly can. Checking the angle of my blade, making sure that it's not curving down, because that will cause you not to have a straight line. And I'm doing this with also keeping in mind that I do not want to push this edge up back. I want it to be natural, but I want it to be sharp. I want it to be clean. So I'll hit at that line, and I'll make sure that I'm brushing, and I'm just getting any little loose hairs that hang over as I brush. And you'll notice from this angle, I see a little bump right there where it's not exactly straight. So I'll clean that up, and I'm just looking for any curvature. I just want it to be as straight as I can possibly get it. Haircutting is an illusion. We're not gonna have it like 100% straight. It's not done on a, you know, on a mathematical equation with a ruler and all that kind of stuff. We're just using our eyes, and we're trying to use our judgment, use the mirror and things like that to make sure that it's straight as we can get it. And I don't know how you guys feel about cutting hair, but I personally love it. Like, men's grooming is my thing, and I feel like I'm in the NBA, you know, like I'm getting paid to do something that I love to do. If I wasn't making money doing this, I'd still be cutting hair and I'd be doing it for free. You know, just like those cats, if they weren't in the NBA or a professional, they'd be somewhere hooping. So that's the equivalent to me. Like, I'm a professional barber. I love the experience of meeting new people and all of that. Like, I just enjoy every aspect of what it is that I do. So whenever you're using a razor, make sure that you stretch the skin, right? But when you're doing their beard, you can do what I'm having him do right there, which is put air in his cheeks, and that's gonna make his skin tight as well. And that helps you to prevent from cutting your customer, as well as helps that razor just glide across. Especially if you do your razor like me, I dry shave. So I don't use any shave gel, I just go straight in. So I need that skin to be stretched as much as possible. And lastly, we hit the edge up with the scissors, getting any hair that's hanging over. All right, guys, so it's been 16 minutes and you guys probably forgot how bad my boy looked coming in. This is how it was, 2.5 months, no haircut, and this is how he's leaving out. My boy is fresh, he's clean, dipping on top, you know what I'm saying? Icy blend, everything, he's clean, man. So I thank you guys for watching, for staying with me and learning. It's been a good 2 years. I'm looking forward to seeing what the next couple years will look like. I just had a company reach out and send me a care package, so I will be unboxing that for you guys pretty soon here. I just want to say, if you ever sat through and watched one of my videos, thank you guys so much for the continued support, the love, everybody reaching out, and all of the feedback. Thank you again, and God bless.